Sackbot Barbecue.
And I'm Gigglecluds.
Today we return to Splatoon, the wonderful world of Splatoon and its lore. Specifically, this is going to be about Splatoon 2 and Octo expansion, the DLC.
Ooh.
I know, fancy.
Now there are two of them.
Oh, just you wait. There might even be three. So with that, there are going to be spoilers for the Splatoon franchise. Go figure. And let's talk a little bit about how time progresses in Splatoon, because there's this funny little thing that they do with this series where as time moves in our world, time moves in Splatoon. Alright, so because the original Splatoon came out in 2015, and Splatoon 2 came out in 2017, that means that 2 years have passed in between these titles.
Which is not necessarily necessary, considering that they take place far in the future.
Yeah.
The intervals between releases are canon.
Yes, they are. And that leads to some really weird things.
Okie dokie. I look forward to finding out. Are you ready to take us on this tour?
I am so ready.
Alrighty then. Honeysuckle away.
Because we're gonna start with talking about salmon.
Oh boy.
The Arc Polaris returns. This is when it crashes. You guys remember the Arc Polaris?
I do remember hearing about an Arc Polaris.
Yeah.
There were like mammals on board, right?
There were mammals on board. And, well, you know, what goes up must come down if you're a failure.
It's a little different when we were talking about space, but yeah, sure.
So the Arc Polaris crashed in the middle of salmonid territory. Salmonids are highly territorial people with a battle-oriented culture and death-worshipping ideology. If anyone survived the crash, they'd have to be an apex predator to get past the waves of salmon. Yes, they are wielding frying pans.
Nice to eat you indeed.
Yeah, because their death-worshipping ideology, like, it is about the fact that each one of them is like, if I die, I want to be delicious.
Are they cannibals?
No.
Oh,
But they do accept their place in nature as food.
Exactly,
Sure.
yes. So, the frying pans are intended to be used against Inklings, but if push comes to shove, they're okay with it being used on them, you know?
It's like carrying your own headstone into battle.
Exactly! Yeah, kind of like that! Oh, you sound like you have thoughts.
Thoughts, maybe words, no.
But salmonids aren't mindless berserkers. Salmonids come to ground to spawn, having an excess of power eggs. They meet with the Arctarian nation to trade these power eggs for advanced technology. Although, despite this, there is one kind of egg that they do refuse to trade. I've also simulated here what one of these, like, trades might be like. I brought Marina's old Flutter design. Excellent!
Oh boy.
Yeah!
How's Splatoon?
Yeah, Splatoon indeed! This series is full of puns, if you couldn't tell.
I had no idea.
But they refuse to trade these, the coveted golden eggs. Shiny! Carried by boss salmonids, these eggs are protected with the salmonids' very lives. The importance to the salmonids is unknown, but they're clearly very valuable.
Money.
Yeah, money. Anything golden's valuable.
Especially a coveted golden thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, completely unrelated, there's a new job opportunity available for young Inklings.
Oh yeah, totally unrelated, yes.
Unrelated at all. Welcome to Grizzco Industries. If the salmonids won't hand over their golden eggs, Grizzco will just take them. Hiring battle-hungry Inklings right off of turf war matches, Grizzco sends the group of youngsters off to fight salmonids several times larger than themselves. Payment is in the form of capsules, which might have money in them. This is totally legal and does not violate any labor laws and is also not shady as all hell.
Definitely not. As you were reading this off, I was just thinking, wow, this sounds like a legitimate business that isn't even slightly shady. I want to work for these guys.
That is exactly the kind of attitude these people want.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hireable.
You are!
I'm staying home.
But yes, these capsules, they are actually a reference to how some really shady corporations in Japan actually operate. Like, you do the thing, they basically pay you in gambling, which gets around some gambling laws, and then you get a whole bunch of garbage, which you can then pawn off at the pawn shop that just happens to be next door.
A lot of coincidences going around, which is a
Yeah.
shame, because I don't want this legitimate business to look bad.
Right, this legitimate business to look bad that you want to work for some reason.
Okay.
My mom's face, she looks so pained.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm a little disturbed at all company town type behavior, so, you know, I'm like, I don't like people being subjugated by corporations. It makes me mad.
This is also a good time to mention that every playable character in Splatoon is 14 years old. So, child labor!
Yay! Well, I don't know how old Inklings get. You know, if their lifespan is only 28, then they're middle-aged.
Captain Cuttlefish is 130.
And your point? Isn't he a cuttlefish?
Well, cuttlefish and squids seem to be pretty similar as far as, like, the small bits of information we've received, to the point where, like, Captain Cuttlefish is still called an Inkling.
Okay. Well, this is the first you've said so.
Mm-hmm. So they're kind of treated like synonyms, but it seems to be kind of like an ethnicity of Inkling. It's a little unclear.
Alright. I'm not gonna know unless I ask, so...
Yeah, that's why you should ask. Thank you for asking.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's also talk about Mr. Grizz, aka a radio. Mr. Grizz is the voice over the radio who hires, trains, and sends Inklings out for their work shifts. Nobody has ever seen him, and he never responds or answers any questions. In reality, the radio is loaded with pre-recorded messages and will respond accordingly to the situation at hand. While credited as the CEO, he functions more like a mascot than anything. He speaks in a lot of corporate mumbo-jumbo, but hey, you're here for a paycheck, not convo. Legends say bears used to hunt salmon with no tools at all.
Yeah, well...
Makes a perfect mascot.
Claws and teeth are tools.
Well, when you're used to fighting with guns, I mean, that doesn't seem like very much tools, right?
I guess.
I mean, it's like usually when something is like using tools, it's like considered, like a noteworthy thing. We don't just call anything that eats a thing as using tools.
That's true.
Yeah,
that is true. It's just...
My fingers aren't tools.
They're fingers.
Yeah.
Okay, you win this round.
I do win this round. Yay!
Congratulations, you win a victory that may or may not be worth something.
Nice! Okay, next slide. The enigma of Grizzco, though, is that its registered address just leads to an empty lot. It has been said in a dev interview. So important things to note, Grizzco just spontaneously appeared sometime between the first two games. Grizzco does not sell the golden eggs, hoarding them for itself, and employees must be proficient in many weapon types as they are given them on loan randomly. So if you suck at this particular gun, sucks to be you.
You're gonna spend a lot of time respawning.
Yeah, and it's dangerous work too, because there actually are no spawners out in Salmonid territory. So those life rings on the back of Inklings, that's where your soul will go, and then you need somebody else to shoot you to resuscitate you.
That sounds counterproductive, but okay.
When you shoot ink, and then, like, you need ink to live, it'll...
You mean squid fluid?
Yes, squid fluid.
So you just kind of, you throw liquid at them until they have a new body.
Yeah. Effectively, yes.
The
Rehydrate!
The benefits of being made out of goop.
Yeah. There's a lot of benefits to being made out of goop. Although you can't swim in water, which is kind of bad for a squid.
That always confused me about this game. It's like, I'm a squid, and I can swim in my own fluid, my own ink, but I can't swim in water. Weird. Nope. Just like the Frogger logic.
The deal with Inklings still makes way more sense than Frogger.
Yes.
Yeah, because at least Inklings are, like, a different creature altogether than a frog, but Frogger is a frog.
I mean, it's like, the Inklings are made out of liquid, so putting them in water is going to destabilize their bodies.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Frogger just fucking drowns, and we don't know why.
It's because water levels are hard to make. That's why.
You know what? This could have been fixed if they just used a rabbit.
Made out of tofu?
If you know, you know.
I don't. I'm just taking pieces I've heard and putting them together like toddlers do.
You know, I love that.
I thought you might. Anyway, okay. So I don't know. It's like, I'm using a language I don't understand, and I'm cracking people up. Yay!
Also happening between these two games, we've got a little Judd.
What?
Oh, dearest Judd, I only hope that you can forgive me for all I've put you through, says the professor. The professor didn't want Judd to ever be alone and programmed the pod to clone him if he ended up alone. An inkling in a museum accidentally tripped this feature. Little Judd possesses all powers of Judd, but is smaller and never knew the professor's love. This has caused him to have such an inferiority complex that he is scheming to assassinate Judd. Judd is oblivious.
Oh, goodness.
I've known from the moment of my birth that I'm just a replica of you. How could you ever understand my feelings? And then Judd's reply is question mark?
Your love is very inexplicable, little one.
Like, well, I chilled out as I got older. Maybe he will too.
If you say so. I've never been a parent before.
So, despite being a prominent historical figure, Judd might just not show up to work one day.
Yeah, we kind of have to accept that as a possible inevitability. I mean, we don't know for sure, but keep an eye on this guy. He's devious. Speaking of, work, I guess, not showing up to work, Agent 3's work is never done. My dearest Callie and Marie, stop. On a research trip to the Cape with Agent 3. Stop. Agent Cuttlefish. Not Agent Cuttlefish, Captain. God damn it. I'm tripping over my words in my excitement.
Okay, Agent Captain Cuttlefish.
Reporting for duty. Wait, no.
Just because the Zapfish are back doesn't mean the city is safe. Agent 3 is still working with Captain to patrol the border. During these excursions, it's almost impossible to reach them. That, and there seems to be a lot more Octoling activity than usual. This has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that maybe a lot of them had their worldview changed recently. Nothing at all.
Dun, 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 dun.
But while they're out, Callie is at a hard point in life. Go figure, being told that you're inferior to your cousin might do that to you.
You're legally inferior.
Legally inferior, yes.
Oh, jeez.
The fame and pressure from being on a drama television show is so much that Callie begins to have a bit of a crisis. On a day when her vacation was supposed to begin and she could see Marie again, she vanished. In the process of looking for her cousin, Marie also found that Octavio was missing as well. With Agent 3 and the captain out on patrol, she knew she needed more help. And that's where you come in again, Agent 4, a name that surprises nobody.
Ooh.
Using the patented look and pray technique outside of Grisco, Marie managed to pick the only inkling in Inkopolis who doesn't know who the Squid Sisters are. While Agent 4 is a silent protagonist, Marie seems to reply to many things they say, implying that they may actually be a chatterbox. They also don't watch TV, are dedicated to school work, can use any weapon handed to them, and are a complete goober. Subjective, but
okay.
I have my sources.
I'm sure you do.
I've done enough research. But yeah, this kind of touches on, a theory of mine that, I do think that Marie might have actually found Agent 4 on their way to work at Grisco, and, that's why, a primary feature of the story mode in this game is that you can use any weapon type, and so I think that Agent 4 can use any weapon type because they work at Grisco.
Ooh.
It's also why they would just follow a random person into a sewer to go to a story mode. If they're gullible enough to work for Grisco, they'd probably do that.
It's like, hey, this job doesn't look too sketchy for me.
What is sketch, anyway? So that brings us to Octo Canyon. It's not Octo Valley. They're two separate places.
Thank you for the clarification. I'm serious. It's not facetious at all when I say that.
Yeah. Octo Canyon is a factory network and military training facility. However, recently it's undergone a massive makeover. The ink is full of glitter, there's colorful fabric and tape decor, pop music is playing, and there's Bread now. Bread is a boss.
Is he related to Brundasbrot?
Wow, going in for a deep cut, aren't we?
No, that's later.
Fair point.
Okay.
I'm okay.
I could explain the bread boss if you wanted.
Is it not covered?
No.
Okay.
It doesn't have its own dedicated slide, but
Fine.
Okay. So, they made a big oven, right? Because people love bread, and the thing is that the oven was calibrated to shoot out bread so fast that it hurt people, and so they were like, hey, we can use this as a weapon. So they baked Octarians into the bread. This is where that whole biotech thing is coming in again.
Yeah.
And that's why it has faces, because those are actual Octo Troopers in the loaves of bread. In the oven.
This is how we got lucky. The Vorlons are not like that.
You know what? It's fair that you guys can make references that I don't get. You know what? After this is acceptable, you know?
Fine. Sackbot and I, Giggleclutz, have been watching Babylon 5 lately, so you get the Vorlon joke.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway.
Okay, now that I've made you guys very uncomfortable, we can keep going, because...
The bread has eyes! I mean, come on! It's like...
I haven't seen bread that fucked up since expiration date.
That's the TF2 thing?
Yeah, that's the TF2 thing, yeah.
Honestly, somehow that one was less disturbing.
But let's talk about Octavio's plan. Again, if at first you don't succeed, you try again. In the face of so many Octolings trying to flee to Inkopolis, Octavio tries to win back their loyalty by brainwashing Callie to serve under him, as the idol's performance is still legendary to the army years later. Also, after Marina left, he might have needed somebody to help run everything. She immediately took to the role and remodeled Octo Canyon to be more trendy. And also Octavio stole a Zapfish again, go figure. So, it's basically the same plot, except Callie's here this time. There's a lot of criticism about the story mode for kind of being copy-paste, but with 2 years development time, I don't really blame them that much. They somehow managed to come up with something that made the plot at least make sense.
Which is always optional.
It's always optional, but I like the attention to detail.
See, under the circumstances, the job's not half bad.
Yeah, and, if they're leaving, if Octolings are leaving because of the Squid Sisters, it makes sense to go, well, if the Squid Sisters are here, they don't need to leave.
Right.
So that means that we gotta fight DJ Octavio featuring Callie. After tracking down Callie and Octavio, Agent 4 begins to fight them to buy time for Marie to come and perform a drive-by shooting on a flying truck driven by a talkative weaponsmith so that way she can reunite with her cousin. Do you get
Say
all
that again a couple more times fast, right?
Splatoon!
And I'm not kidding! I have a GIF!
And here comes the truck! With Marie on it!
With a gun.
With a gun!
Battle pose! Pew! Oh.
I've sent this GIF to many people out of context, and their reaction is a unanimous, what? Just, what is Splatoon?
Yeah, what is Splatoon indeed?
This is the first time where I was like, how did we get here?
Really?
Yeah.
It took you 2 games to go, really? What?
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue.
So, Splatoon 2 is over. Octavio is captured, Callie and Marie are reunited, the Great Zapfish is saved. We've had one Splatoon 2, yes. But what about second Splatoon 2? What are Captain and Agent 3 up to in Octo Expansion?
Oh my. Is this where it gets good?
This is where it gets really good. Oh my god, the hype for this DLC was astronomical as soon as it dropped, because, we've always wanted to know more about Octolings. Always. Always, always, always. They have such a different aesthetic and culture and everything. So, while Captain and Agent 3 are on patrol at Mount Nantai, they get in a scuffle with an Octoling, and both sides are suddenly ambushed by a second Octoling with a super weird getup, and they're all knocked unconscious. Pew! Get wrecked.
Okay.
I had a lot of fun with this slide, can you tell?
I hope you had a lot of fun with most of them.
Yeah, you're right. I did have fun with most of them.
Good.
I didn't agonize over this.
No, this was fun work. We need to find lots more fun work for you.
We do, but who is the first Octoling anyway? Because, the first one, I'm scared of the green Octo. Let's leave her alone for a while. When the Octoling comes to, they're with Captain Cuttlefish and can't remember anything except for calamari incantation. Still, they have a few defining characteristics. They're a poet, they're an Octoling, they're very quiet, and always look like they have like 5% of an idea of what's going on.
Oh, they're holding the brain cell.
If the only brain cell only works 5%, it explains a lot, actually. But I think Marina holds the brain cell a lot of the time.
Okay.
And yes, on that whole relationship chart thing, this character is credited as heard that one song.
Okay.
I think it's the funniest way to sum up this character.
Let's continue, because they made the slideshow, so...
Welcome to a random-ass subway station. The Octoling and Captain have to walk a while, but then they find they're at a subway where a telephone is ringing. When they answer it, it starts acting super weird. What's crack-a-lackin', home skillet?
What? Is it made of octopus too?
It does kind of have like that bug-eyed expression, doesn't it?
It does.
The telephone. Why does it move like that? Because, like, not pictured here, when it speaks, the speaker starts flapping like it's a mouth. And it tells the Octoling they are applicant 10,008, and they need to do tests to get thangs. These thangs will let them get to a place called the Promised Land. It's totes legit, fam. The Captain, excited that the phone will take them to the surface, asterisk, begins calling the Octoling Agent 8. They board a nearby train to get themselves familiarized with the local area and to get to the tests that the phone talked about.
Okay, screw Grizco, I want this job.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you really do. This phone is a charmer. It talks in so much slang not found. So, the place where we are, yeah, we're in the Deep Sea Metro. The Deep Sea Metro is what links every test together, with one test at each station. As the name implies, the Metro is a real train network that regular people use to go about their daily lives. Think of it like a college town populated by deep sea people.
Okie dokie.
So I have some examples down there of what they look like.
Yes, you do.
And you can just see them just kind of chilling on the train. It's cool.
And then there's the map of the metro.
Yeah, it's squiggly. There's a lot of trains.
Yeah, metros can get squiggly sometimes.
I love out of context quotes, because that's a good one. But Kamamboko and Memcakes. The Metro and the tests are owned by Kamambo Corporation and operated using identical constructs, each named Sea Cucumber. As a reward for clearing tests, subjects are given Memcakes, a physical token made out of memories. How convenient! Many people in the Metro seem to lose their memories for some reason. Just do tests to get them back. It's that easy.
Oh.
Man, you are really upselling this position.
What? Yeah, I mean, yeah, what's not to love, right?
I know.
It's not like their logo, like, can contain an eye.
In a pyramid? Yeah, not at all. That's never ominous.
I in no way feel like a guy in a top hat is watching me when I look at that.
Okay, the top hat's a little weird. Are you feeling okay? You should do a couple tests. That'll help you right out.
Sounds great.
Let's go!
Yeah, notably, yeah, as Agent 8 is an amnesiac, like, when they get these memories back, they're just like, well, I guess I'm gonna write a poem about it. And so every single memcake you get has a little poem, and they're really adorable.
Aw.
Because, like, they just want to get to Winkopolis, man. Oh, by the way, Off the Hook gets involved.
Oh boy.
And they have new outfits.
From when? So they were in the main game?
They're in the main game. In the DLC, they have a different outfit.
Okay, well, you never mentioned them in the whole section of the main game, so...
Because they're not relevant to the main game.
Yeah, they're filling in the role that Kelly and Marie used to for the main, multiplayer stuff. They don't
not
participate
story
in,
mode.
They don't
Story
participate
mode.
in Splatoon 2's main campaign.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So they're the ones who are announcing all the Splatfests now that Callie and Marie are too busy to do that.
They have moved on to other things.
Yeah, and actually, Marina went so far above and beyond that she actually designed stages for every Splatfest. So she made maps from the ground up to fight in. Like I said, she can do, like, anything, man.
The power of love.
Okay, so after Agent 8 clears their first test, Captain's comm receives a signal. He's hopeful it's Agent 3, but in reality it's Pearl and Marina, who found the Agent comm on Mount Nantai while Pearl is practicing with her voice, because they kind of go there pretty regularly. They both agree to help with attempting to locate the Metro and solve the various tests. Marina is able to partially hack the Metro systems to make progress easier. She also sets up a group chat.
Oh, of course she does.
Yeah, but...
Then they're not just constantly flirting in there? Oh, they are. Okay, yeah. What else are you gonna do in the group chat, right?
Yeah, like, we'll get to what, like, the contents of the group chat are in a little bit, but yeah, they're pretty flirty. Without being flirty, but they're flirty.
Uh-huh.
Everyone ships them.
So let's also talk about sanitized Octarians. Like, it's about time we talk about the green Octo, alright? The tests are filled with Octarians that have an oily green ink and seem to glitch when splatted. They come in all kinds, including Octolings. Marina's readings indicate that they don't have a pulse and act like zombies, though it is still possible for them to create, as the music in the Metro is written by DJ Deadfish. Other than that, they seem to be pretty mindless.
Aww.
Yeah, I mean, they look kinda badass, right?
Sure. But the glassy stare...
Octotrooper stares are pretty glassy anyway. It's not much of a downgrade.
Yeah, it's like they already were kind of dopey looking.
It's true.
Yeah. But let's go to the Marina's chat room because you guys are so excited. Marina started this space to keep Agent 8 informed on where the Metro possibly could be so that they could get out and get to Inkopolis. But it quickly turned into Marina and Pearl reminiscing about how they met, and Captain outing Marina as from the Octarian army. You know, like you do as a bigoted old man. Pearl is shocked at first, but immediately gets protective of Marina, threatening to fight Captain if anything happens to her. Also, Marina thinks the Metro's in another dimension, no biggie.
Oh, no biggie.
No biggie.
Yeah, it's just in another dimension. That happens. Just ask Kirby.
I don't know. I don't think Kirby's very conversational.
Well.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, great.
But yeah, this kind of runs into, like, this theme in some Splatoon lore, where it's like, if something weird is happening, it's because of, like, electromagnetism. So, this place is surrounded by a lot of electromagnetism, and, like, so is, like, the Grizzco salmon areas, and they're like, oh, you can't super jump here because electromagnetism, or we can't find you because electromagnetism.
It's nanomachines for Splatoon.
Yes, exactly. It's just electromagnetism.
Hey, it's a fictional universe. Have whatever magic you want. Call it science if you need to. I don't care.
Electromagnetism. Wow.
You had to. You had to.
How could you not?
I did have to. But,
Anyway.
yeah, before we get too carried away, as if we aren't already carried away, let's grab those things! There are 4 of them. The foundational, the precision, the containing, and the sealing. Great job getting those things! I have never seen these objects before in my life. Maybe it's a spaceship.
Why am I craving daiquiris right now?
It feels like it's either a transportation device or something you use to make 3D models.
Right, yep.
I am not getting in that thing. You can't make me.
It's a blender. It's a blender. It's a blender.
Yeah?
At least it's a cool blender, right?
So I know what you're craving right now.
Corn chowder. Yeah.
Corn chowder.
So, okay, real thing here. Okay, I like corn chowder. I've been making a lot of corn chowder. As soon as I started making the slide, I'm like, oh, I need to make corn chowder. And as soon as I was getting the blender out, I was like, oh.
You didn't realize it was a blender till then?
No, I'm saying, like, I wasn't realizing why I was craving corn chowder until I got the blender out. And I'm like, God damn it.
Oh, it's like you weren't just craving corn chowder, you were craving sending corn to the promised land.
Yeah, never trust anyone who tells you that they're sending you to the promised land.
Yeah.
You never know whose promise they're fulfilling, and usually your food. Sorry.
Hey, at least you still got that Grizzco gig.
Well, I didn't say I was abandoning this job.
All right.
Okay, so despite Marina's warnings that this looked like a blender, Captain and Agent 8 step into it after it was assembled by the phone, and in a last-ditch effort to save them, Marina hacks to turn on an emergency signal. Somehow, in the nick of time, Agent 3 shows up to save the day, crashing through the ceiling and breaking the blender and phone apart.
Oh no!
So, the escape. Agent 3 hits their head during that rescue, but is carrying blueprints that Marina and Pearl use to guide Agent 8 upward through Kamambo Co's facility. The escape takes place in 7 phases labeled after human anatomy: coccyx, villi, belly, intestinal, diaphragm, persistalysis, and spinal. The entire building is a metaphor for how the company ingests and processes people. Kamambo Co's logo is poop.
Oh, yay!
Isn't this great?
If you really want to use that word, you can, but...
I was thinking it was ice cream earlier. It looked like soft serve. Now you ruined it for me.
But think of all the detail they put into this.
They did.
Yes, that is very thoughtful, very clever.
Very
Also,
gross.
you.
Yeah.
Very thoughtful, very disgusting. I'm glad you guys enjoyed this revelation.
You're both grounded if anybody poops in my blender. Both of you. This is the only time I ever am going to resort to collective punishment, but that deserves collective punishment.
That's against the Geneva Convention.
It is, but you prove it. Anybody would agree with me that that deserves collective punishment. Sorry.
That's definitely one of those we shouldn't have to make a rule about this moments.
But if it happened, you definitely would.
Yep.
See? She thought she had all the secrets.
Oh boy.
Okay, I have all the Splatoon secrets, alright?
I'm unfathomable.
Yes, you are. I'm so glad that you're proud of yourself. Okay, moving on. Let's talk more about sanitization, okay?
Yeah?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the belly phase is where Octos are sanitized. Octarians are lured in and have their memories and thoughts drained from them. This leaves enough room in their soul for data to be implanted to give Kamambo Co complete control. Why did they get lured in? It's the eyes. Yeah. The phone looks like an Octarian because it works to lure them in. You nailed it. You got it. Like, hey, want to have all your wildest dreams come true? You must be an Octo like me.
But who built it? Should we find out?
We do.
Okay.
In fact, you already have all the information you need.
That's probably the case, but...
We didn't. And we're playing through this, we don't. We have no idea what this phone is. But wait, there's more. This implanted data comes in the form of the blended data of all previous test subjects. That's all put together. As more subjects clear the tests, the sanitized Octarians get better, which makes the tests harder to clear, which makes the Octarians better in an endless cycle. Until you came along. Number 10,008, why are you associating with these superfluous nobodies? The phone isn't dead.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, you might have to fix that.
Well, percussive maintenance got us into this situation. Maybe it can get us out. Sanitized Agent 3. No, my main character!
Aww.
Also, Captain's hostage again.
I think he likes that, though.
You'd think after this, you know?
Oh, no! Don't make me a captive! Oh, no! I didn't bring my own rope!
Oh, no! And he just spins around in a circle. It's like, hold the other end.
Yeah, pretty much.
Having left the phone with Captain and Agent 3, the phone took the time to implant sanitization data into our favorite little child soldier. Now, the only person who beat the entire Octarian army stands between you and escape. No pressure. The phone uses this time to prepare something bigger.
Of course! It's boss time!
It is boss time.
Boss time, boss time!
Okay, I don't think anything I could say could prepare you for, like, what's coming next.
Okay, what else is new?
Because, okay, we're gonna talk about the Nils statue. That form, it's human! After defeating Agent 3, Agent 8 makes it to the surface where Pearl and Marina are waiting on a swarm of helicopters. After takeoff, a giant statue rises up out of the sea. The entire Kamambo Co facility was inside a bust of Helios the entire time. Okay, I mean, Pearl doesn't actually say you gotta be fucking squidding me, but in the DLC she does have confirmation that her first song is called bleepin' dudes be bleepin' sleepin'. So she would totally say this here. Weirdly enough, I didn't think to download that song ahead of time, but, it's fine. So, Commander Tartar, this is the phone, right? The phone was the AI that was made 12,000 years ago by the human professor. Remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he froze Judd. It was supposed to give humanity's knowledge to the next life that emerged on Earth, but when Inklings only cared about turf war and fashion, it grew enraged and decided it was going to create a supreme DNA primordial soup so a being worthy of the knowledge could one day evolve and commit genocide in the process.
Well, it was human after all.
Yeah.
We have hope, but it's a long ways off.
Yeah. Doesn't help that, Inklings and Octolings do still keep doing the exact same, falling into some of the exact same pitfalls that humans do. I mean, the Great Turf War. Ugh. But that means that we gotta save the day! Marina coordinates a plan to stop the Nil statue from charging by having Agent 8 cover it in ink, and then Pearl will shatter it to bits with the full force of her voice. Also, if you lose, the world actually ends.
Oh, boy!
Yeah, you actually get a cutscene where everybody's like, no! Likewise, if you die during the escape sequence, they also react as if you die because you're out of range of any spawner. So you have one shot in lore to do this.
No.
It's kind of intense.
Yeah, this is some of the highest stakes stuff that's come up yet.
Yeah. Somehow stopping, one old man with turntables is nowhere near as threatening as a statue with a cannon made out of blenders.
Yeah, I'm making a face.
Yeah.
You can't see me. I'm just yeah, sure.
You're like, how did we get here?
No. I know how we got here.
Yeah, I kind of walked you through it step by step. It's a logical process.
I'm giving you a sus face.
And here we are.
Yeah,
And here we are. The world is saved! With Commando Corporation destroyed, Agent 8 is free to live on the surface with everyone else. More Octolings keep making their way to Inkopolis, Agent 3 and Captain no longer stopping them. But that's not the end. Did anyone else hear that, or was it just me?
Uh-oh.
Also, that little picture in the corner is some of my source for Agent 4 being a goober, because they are in the lower left corner. I can turn the computer... Here. That's Agent 4.
Okay, but that didn't even make sense to me until you pointed it out.
Yep.
You can add an arrow in the video.
Yep, they're right there.
Okay.
Every other major character is also in the photo, but of course, they're the one who's just kind of blurry in the corner, because of course they are.
So this is the one you have to get out of the garbage can?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I do think that Agent 4 is probably just the chaos gremlin of the group.
I'm telling on myself. Sorry.
Although, notably, Agent 8 actually isn't officially an agent. It's just a nickname, because they never go through, the paperwork. Because Squidbeak's Splatoon actually is an official organization. It's weird.
I'll take your word for it.
But it's time for the final Splatfest of Splatoon 2, Chaos versus Order.
Well, that's a hell of a choice.
Yeah, so Marina's scared that Pearl's gonna break up their band and clings to the idea of order so hard that Pearl enacts Splatfest law to make everyone accept the world that the winning team wants. It's intense. Because, yeah, there's a difference between going oh yeah, this one's better, and another thing to go hey, you gotta embrace this in your life.
Yeah, that sounds like a terrible choice. No one should have to make that choice.
No, yeah. But the fun thing about this is, you remember how, Callie versus Marie was, important for the last game, and the winner of that one was Marie, which means Marie was actually, the protagonist in that story, supporting cast, while meanwhile Callie was the bad guy. So because that was affected by the Splatfest, we have alternate music tracks for if Callie had won the Splatfest. We knew going into this that whichever team won would shape the next game.
Adding a fourth wall break kind of thing going on here.
Yeah, so we were picking not only off of, which one resonated with us, but also what game would we like to see. So there were so many arguments, and they put out so much promotional art for this. Every single character in the game basically got their own promotional art saying, why they picked a given team.
Jeez.
With only 3 people remaining impartial. The weapon dealer, his name is Sheldon, didn't have room for Sheldon. Then we have Judd and Mr. Grizz.
Oh, sure, because they win no matter what.
Yeah. And, well, who won? Chaos.
Of course, chaos. These are Inklings. It's 14-year-olds with weapons.
Yeah,
They're so for order. Yeah, order is exactly what 14-year-olds with weapons are all about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Marina is resigned to off the hook breaking up when the results come in, but Pearl has other ideas, like a world tour! They're closer than ever! Marina, however, can't let go of this idea of a world of order and begins to work on a project called the Memverse. After this, turf-hungry battlers begin to look for somewhere chaotic to fight, and head for the Splatlands. Thus ends Splatoon 2.
Bum, bum.
Yay!
I'm a little out of breath.
I can tell.
Are we having fun yet?
I mean, I'm having fun. I've been having fun the whole time. Have you guys been having fun?
Oh, yeah.
More or less.
More or less? How can I have made this better for you?
It's not about you.
Oh.
No, I'm not expecting you to change Splatoon canon to make
Make
me more comfortable with the weird feelings it's giving me.
Yeah. And Sackbot explains it well. Yes. the well-spoken son. Yes.
So that covers, like, I think Octo Expansion is, like, the best handled story in Splatoon, but that's just my opinion. There might be some people who disagree with me.
Sure,
But
that's
no-
what opinions are for.
But I am gonna say, it might get weirder. So
Sure.
It might get weirder, so be sure to come back next week, where we move on to Splatoon 3 and cover that story mode.
Buckle up for the third and final part of the Splatoon lore series of Splat June.
Yeah. Grab your helmet, probably grab some washcloths.
It's definitely going to be a mess. I'm here for it.
And if you have any questions about Splatoon lore that I didn't go over, leave them in the comments.
Yeah, and we definitely won't gang up to call your knowledge base inadequate for asking us questions.
Yeah, I won't do that. I want people to ask. I want to info dump at people. That's what this whole exercise is about.
Yes, please, audience, please keep her busy. That would be nice.
And in all seriousness, I will only make fun of you for your comments if you ask me nicely.
Be careful. That's a door you can't close. Anyway.
I mean, you can, but then it's like there's still things like gushing under it, you know? Like, you've slowed the flow. You haven't stopped it.
There's still going to be people knocking.
I'll just put towels under the door and I'll be fine.
That's a story for a different day.
And
Thank
thank you guys so much for listening, for watching, for...
Yeah, this has in fact been collab, not multiplayer.
I'm HoneyshuckleEX.
I'm Sackbot Barbecue.
And I'm Giggleplugs. Goodbye.
Bye!